Coming from the bottom, better move with caution. When I bring this out final form, I'm a slave. When I pull up, get thunderclap, my slayers running back. Make sure these demons remember the name. I do them dirty like EU when I'm dead calm. Till I get hot, but I see through all your dead plots. I'm in the guys in these two, cut your head off. Pull up with your demons, I'm making sure they next.
Hey guys, welcome back to another One Piece Banners video. Today we're going to be going over the final installment of the three-part top 10 series. This video will be about the top 10 defenders in the game, in my opinion. Now, defenders is definitely the hardest one to pick because there's such a big pool of good defenders compared to attackers and runners. So this video will be a little more harder to choose than the other videos. But be sure to let me know what you think about the tier list. Again, this is going to be my personal opinion, so you guys can feel free to disagree. I don't think I got everything right in this video, but it's to the best of my ability and what I believe. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let's jump right into the number 10 spot. We're jumping into the number 10 spot. We have Garp, the savior of the Roger meta. Garp pretty much offered a small reprieve from the oppressive regime of Roger. He handled Roger with ease, and Garp was considered the #1 defender by far for a while. But unfortunately, with him being such a niche unit towards captains, Garp wasn't really fated to last that long at the top. While he's definitely still a decent pick, you can do well with him. He doesn't really stand much of a chance against the top of the meta right now. So sadly, Garp falls to the 10th spot on this list. On the next spot on this list is a little bit of a sleeper pick, but Kinemon. Kinemon isn't used much in the game right now, and I'm not too sure why. The fastest defender in the game by far, and one of the fastest units in general, but with his normal attacks, Kinemon is a very useful unit to have on your team. His counter can do a lot of damage, and skill 1 hits far as hell. While his flame trait doesn't work on Incinerate, Kinemon can still put up a really good fight in the meta. And so with all that being said, Kinemon blazes his way to the 9th spot on this list. Next, we have the former king of the game. Blackbeard has fallen off a lot, and yet he still managed to hold on to a top 10 spot in the game. Blackbeard is more than capable of beating the brakes off of power users like Oni, Luffy, Akainu, and he can also defend multiple flags pretty well, and he puts up a solid fight against Akainu, which is why he locks up the 8th spot on this list. Now this is where we get into the interchangeable part of this tier list. You could really argue for units in this section to be higher or lower. I'm going to include Blackbeard in this section, but yeah. Mr. 3 is a pretty solid defender. He can't do anything except defend, but he does that really well. His double shields can hold off enemies for a while, allowing the rest of your team to focus on other flags. So Mr. 3 pockets the 7th spot on this list. Next up, we have the newest Bounty Fest and the newest defender, Sugar. Sugar's a little weird for me. While I think she can be pretty useful, her low damage reduction hinders her capability as a defender. Only 30% damage reduction, really not that good. But her ability to turn others into toys through her counter or being hit can be very clutch, since toys can't interfere in flag caps or do anything except move. This allows your team to have free reign over the map for about 10 seconds with Warlords if Sugar can turn your enemies into toys. Now 10 seconds sounds pretty short, but a game can be won in less time than that. You can win a game in like 5 seconds if played right, so Sugar takes a tentative 6th spot on the list. Moving into the top 5, we get started with Mace, or Arco. Mace is the definition of underrated. Unable to show his true strength because of Rodin, or Roger Odin, he was overlooked and underused for so long until Akainu released. Now he is one of the best defenders to fight against Akainu. His fantastic support makes him very valuable to his team, and with his shield being able to completely block off certain maps, Mace can make life hell for your opponents, and that's why he takes the 5th spot on this list. Next up, we have Robin. Robin is pretty much widely regarded as the most boring defender due to her playstyle, but regardless of what everyone thinks, she's one of the best defenders, being the tankiest of all of them and able to hold off multiple units at once without much trouble. Unable to take status effects with her skill up, she can solidly handle Akainu landing here the 4th spot on this list. In 3rd place, we have Oni Luffy. Oni Luffy is one of the most annoying defenders in the game. He's able to shred people with his Gatling, and once his defense is stacked, he becomes a true pain in the ass. Double knockback skills make him capable of easily handling Odin, and his enormous allow him great mobility, making him a very useful defender to have in your team. Oni Luffy secures the 3rd spot on this list. Onigashima Kid. The former undisputed king of defenders, he hasn't fallen off. It's more that someone else has taken over his spot. Kid is still an extremely strong defender who can guard multiple treasures at once. His percent damage shreds any unit that's not named Robin or Sugar, and with the worst gen, he can have you flying across the map with both his skills. Kid's imposing nature on the meta lands him the 2nd spot in this list. Last, or first, and certainly the greatest, Frankie. Started from the middle, now we are here. Frankie was considered 5th to 6th best defender when he first dropped, but slowly and surely rose to the top of the meta. He's an amazingly tanky defender in his treasure, and the ability to essentially nullify status effects makes him invaluable for this meta with Akainu running around. His damage is fantastic for a defender, being capable of one-shotting many units in this game with skill 1, and with a knockback ability in skill 2, there's not much in this game that he can't handle. Frankie is your number 1 defender in the game.